A long-awaited breakthrough at South Korea's parliament is our starting point. Rival political parties will vote on the 2018 budget bill after they reached a tentative agreement over the proposal Monday. 3 days too late, but perhaps now finally on course to be passed. Our National Assembly correspondent Kim Min-ji has been updating us on the developments through the day. Let's connect to her again right now. Min-ji, what do you have for us at this hour?
Daniel, the National Assembly will soon vote on the 2018 budget proposal for next year. The plenary session kicked off just minutes ago, but the main opposition Liberty Korea party has still yet to attend. The proposal was supposed to be voted on earlier this morning, but was postponed as the specifics of the nearly $400 billion budget bill had yet to be fine-tuned. Now, this comes 3 days after the legal deadline of December 2nd. On Monday, rival parties reached a tentative agreement over the budget bill after days of grueling talks. The question now is whether it will pass. The ruling Democratic Party of Korea is short of a majority with 121 seats, so cooperation from the opposition is essential. At this point, the deciding vote is seen as belonging to the center-left People's Party, now with 39 seats after one of its lawmakers was stripped of his title this morning for violating election laws. The minor party, now that it has a greater say in legislative affairs, is expected to vote in favor of the bill. But it's a different story on the conservative side. The main opposition Liberty Korea party, which holds 116 seats, said despite yesterday's compromise, they are still opposed to key provisions of the bill, with its lawmakers deciding to contest the budget bill. Now, they're not in attendance yet, and they're going to decide whether to boycott the session or attend later to vote against the bill. The minor opposition Padam party, with 11 lawmakers, also says it will vote against the bill, stating it is more or less on the same page as the main opposition. The minor Progressive Justice Party, with 6 seats, has also been opposed to the budget, but in other areas.
Folding and meeting halfway seems to take forever for the lawmakers. They missed the deadline due to a number of sticking points. Min-ji, do get back to Monday when it was more positive. We were brimming with anticipations. Tell us about the compromise they reached.
Well, the most contentious issue was the creation of public sector jobs. The ruling Democratic Party of Korea had initially wanted to add over 12,000 new jobs next year, but the opposition had demanded that figure be slashed. Now, the agreement they reached was 9,475, with redistribution in the public sector of the labor force in the public sector to take place as well. Another area of contention was the $2.7 billion to be set aside for small companies to cushion the fallout from next year's hefty minimum wage hike. Rival parties agreed to keep the budget as it is for 2018, but said the cash support will be changed into indirect forms like tax cuts in the following year. The Stability Fund for 2019 cannot exceed the figure set aside for next year either. As for the much-disputed tax reform proposal, they agreed to raise the corporate tax rate to 25% for businesses with taxable profit of more than $300 million instead of the $200 million proposed by the government. Now, hopefully, we will see lawmakers reaching an agreement soon, as this is the first budget under the Moon Jae-in administration that will be used to get its agendas rolling. Back to you, Daniel.